Hello and good day everyone. My name is Loganagi Panirselvam. My metric number 270093, and today I'm going to present my moral judgment regarding race-based policy. In my point of view, these race-based policy are unacceptable. This is due to the fact that such policies are only work on relevant races of ethnics without taking into account the trouble faced by other races. And we also know Malaysia is known multiracial people such as Malay, Chinese, Indians, and other some minorities, and it is expected to give as well. We provide priority and convenience to all the citizens. We also note that majority is Malay in our country, and we also admit that Malay have a lot of privilege. But then this policy should indeed to be done, because while it appears to advantage one race, and it undermines sensible and just care other races which are not probably understood in public policy. Based on the newspaper article Malaysia Kini, we can still find there are a lot of race-based policy out there in Malaysia. We have to avoid this race-based policy because it will make other race burden. We have to give equal rights to all the race in our country or any country. Apart from the discussion, everybody, including governments, companies, have to raise awareness and educate public employee about the culture of racism and history of various races. In conclusion, racial inequality must be raised to give higher level of awareness. We must hold the responsibility because of what we stand. As well, we raise awareness about the social issue by using the platform to advocate for the cause. That's all from me. Thank you.
My name is Tang Han and I will present about the moral judgment, contextualizing the relevance of race-based policies. Even though they pose significant benefits to some group of residents, this particular issue should not be encouraged even at present. Through formulated policy or paradigms that will set a standard of acting that is only beneficial to a single stakeholder, with what is necessary should not be evaluated from the idea that there is almond who benefit from it. A simple evaluation of it ethnocentric revealed that these experiences are more direct and compelling now, for the interests of the rest being focused as the receiving end of the policies. This particular policy should be rejected because even though it implies benefit to a certain race, it demerits fair and just treatment with the other race, which are not completely considered for the development of the policies. Considering the consequential approach for ethnics, the number of good these policies have resulted to may be significant. However, the idea behind the other groups, such as race, nationalities, and personas, is unprecedented because the policies implemented may not show the same positive outcomes to other groups who were not familiar. This consideration rationalizes that the decision to reject the implementation of race-based policies. The moral judgment to reject the implementation of race-based policies goes beyond its benefits that are ease of operation and strengthening the Malay cultures. Applying the justice approach, it should be noted that the cost went to a higher extent compared to the benefits expected from these policies, and with that, It has to be through thrice before it shall be implemented. Another point of consideration of why it has to be rejected include the attainment of its set objective. The consideration on this policy's objective should be clearly established before it has to be implemented. No policies were planned to instigate unfair or discriminatory treatments where it is important to review how did the objective was set and how this objective can develop the greater good across all stakeholders. The moral standard considered for this issue include the regulatory mandate of the government office and the compliance duty of the private sector. All government offices around the world are operating through protecting of the welfare of all its residents. This can be done by the policies that they formulated and implemented to regulate daily operation, especially of private sector business. This business will then have the duty to comply with the policies endorsed for implementation by the regulation bodies. It is important to note the government office would not make a government policy that is unfair and may hinder the development of one group or sector. With that, if the policies that were formulated are not aligned to the mandate of the government office, then there is the time that private sector entities and individuals can inquire or request for explanation. This decision is based on a correct and up-to-date information because the Constitution of Malaysia sticks to the nature of government office from this regulatory framework and practice. It is important to consider how the policy endorsed by the government can integrate defensible moral principles. If one party feels that he is aggravated, then that's the time that there should be doubt in implementing that particular policy. In the end, best policy should intend to nurture an existing culture and not kill the existing culture within the destination. That's all for me. Thank you.
Hello and Assalamualaikum. My name is Khalila Amalina binti Muhammad, matrix number 272424. Today, I would like to share to you guys about my opinion with the issue given regarding about race-based policies. In my opinion, I against to these race-based policies. This is because these policies only focus on certain races or ethnic without considering the issues or problems faced by other races. As we know, Malaysia is a country known for its multiracial people. It's supposed to give and provide the priority and convenience to every citizen who is in its country, irrespective of racial, religious and ethnic differences. Everyone knows that Malaysia is a Malay country, and of course, Malays deserve particular treatment, but it would be ideal if the government of Malaysia helps and serve those who were most in need, regardless of race, religion, or ethnicity. It is obvious that Malays make up the majority of Malaysia's population, and the low-income category may be stated to mostly consist of Malay. But at the same time, we cannot forget to those from other races that also have low income and logically, it is fair to allow those who are unworthy or affluent enough to get benefit as well? Of course not, right? So next, my viewpoint is similar to the former Prime Minister Tun Daim Zainuddin's advisor, who stated that economic choices should be based on needs rather than race. This is because although we know that Bumiputra are more prominent among the poor, poverty and poor living conditions, but we forget that these conditions actually affect individuals of all ethnicity. And actually, there are also poor people of other races who require the same benefit as Bumiputra. Therefore, in terms of policy, the B40 must be prioritized regardless of ethnicity. Other than that, my opinion also supported by the statement stated by Raman Navaratnam, which is a former Treasury Deputy Secretary General. He stated that education was critical to Malaysia's success or fail, and he also stated that shared prosperity did not merely include a system of unduly taxing the wealthy in order to give to the poor. Therefore, to succeed in life, everyone needs equal opportunity and access to education. It must be about equality of opportunity rather than equal outcomes. So, that's all from my opinion. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Intana Sharafina binti Ahmad Zalfi and my metric number is 2733 and 99. So I will continue with my own moral judgment. Okay, so as everyone knows, Malaysian citizenry is made up of people with various of races, religions and cultures. Malaysia divided into three main races, which is Malays, Chinese and Indians. We can't avoid living with many cultures in Malaysia. But from my point of view, I agree with this article, which is yes for race-based policies for education purpose only. Higher education development in Malaysia has been accelerated since the 1990s as a result of a combination of multiple factors. However, apart from public higher education institutions, non-public universities and colleges were also involved with a rapid expansion. Despite of this explosive growth, full access to public universities and college continue to be a very serious issue, particularly for non-Malays. In the presence of the massification of higher education, a major concern is the issue of quality and standards. Universities and college has resulted in intense institutional competition at the expense of smaller education systems as a result of the rapid growth of private college and universities. Underemployment has been unavoidably been exacerbated by the rapid expansion of higher education. This issue is exacerbated by disparities in employment opportunities along cultural borders, which also doesn't bode well enough for Malaysian country process in the multiracial policy. The imbalance is due to differences in English language between graduates of public college and universities and graduates of private universities. The supplementary development of university education in both the private and public sectors has resulted in a dual higher education sector that is ethnically diverse. This will not bode well for Malaysia country efforts. For instance, we can take UiTM, which is University Technology of Mara, as an example. Based on the newspaper News Straits Time, UiTM will remain for Bumiputra, which is only for Malays. UiTM also will continue to be a higher education institution for Malays and Bumiputra. Indeed, it has proven to be successful in balancing the positions of Bumiputra and non-Bumiputra Malaysians. UiTM also had a positive impact on the social ranking and unity of Bangsa Malaysia. By uniting the nation, UiTM also made a significant contribution to its social equity. Aside from that, there is no reason to change the policy to allow non-Bumiputra students to attend UiTM. This policy, which is UiTM for Malays and Bumiputra, must be managed to maintain because many people in areas in the countryside and the underprivileged still require UiTM. To be exact, there are still a lot of universities for non-Bumiputra. This is due to UiTM being one of the government subsidiaries and the fee also very affordable, which is not more than 500 per semester. Even if UiTM is only for Malays, there wouldn't be any issues due to there are still a lot of choices for purpose studies. As a Malaysian, I would like to keep the title of UiTM only for Bumiputra for Malaysia's own benefits.